Oh, we're going back here. We're back. In court. There's still a non-zero chance that there's nothing weird going on with the sisters. Mr. Cuthbert, you may begin your cross-examination. Alright. Yeah. So when we last left off, Valentina pretty much told us that her sister healed this bellwether without actually telling us. Hold it. Where were you two coming from? We came from the kitchen. We were taking a break after the lunch rush. The cafeteria was on the west side of the academy, so that made sense. What'd you see in the classroom, Miss Yanis? Spellwether bleeding on the ground. Hold it. Did you notice anything else strange in the lecture hall? Well, there was that terrible smell. It was awful. I almost couldn't see because of how much I was tearing up. Makes sense. Aside from Bellwether, that smell was the most notable thing in that room. Why was Bellwether in that room? It would have been hard to notice anything else. What, you tried to help her? Miss Yanis, how exactly did your sister try to help Miss Bellwether? What? Oh, yep, got her. Oh, my sister used first aid to try to stop the bleeding. I see. Could you please add that detail to your testimony? Yeah, sure. First aid applied pressure to the wound to stop the bleeding. We're going to present the autopsy report to show that there was no wounds. Hold it. Is it your sister knows how to use a first aid kit? Yeah, it was covered in our training when we first started working here. With all the nobles around, I guess the headmaster wanted to make sure we were prepared. Offer help? A device? It's a communication device for use in an emergency. I see. So who did you contact? I wasn't sure, honestly. I could hear a lot of people talking on the other end. That particular device broadcast to the headmaster's office and the City Watch barracks. I imagine that's why the headmaster was able to activate the lockdown so quickly. I see. Hold it. I see. That must have been a difficult experience for both of you. It was especially hard on my sister. I think she blames herself for not being able to save her. She seemed sincere when she said that. I didn't catch any dissonant thoughts through the eye, either. Honestly, her testimony makes a lot of sense. It's hard to figure out which parts she might be lying about. There has to be a contradiction here somewhere. Your theory is that Valentina saw someone use mend wounds on Bellwether. You should focus on the statements that describe how they both interacted with her. It's actually legitimately good hint here. I think we're going to present the autopsy report.
Objection!
Witness, what is the meaning of this? What? Why are you looking at me like that? Maybe I can elaborate, Miss Yanis. You weren't present in the gallery earlier, were you? No, I was waiting in the lobby. Lady Steelwind told me to wait there. I considered myself lucky. This wouldn't have been nearly as easy if Valentina had seen my cross-examination of Orem. You see, Miss Yanis, one key element of this case is that the body didn't have any wounds on it. Yeah, so? So that begs the following question. How did Valerie apply first aid when there shouldn't have been any wounds on the body? What? Uh-oh. There's clearly something amiss here. I'm afraid I don't fully understand the implications of this. Are you accusing the witness of committing perjury, Mr. Cuthbert? When someone lied, they kept it as close to the truth as possible without changing minute details. In her thoughts, Valentina said that she was sure she saw a wound on Bellwether. She also mentioned that Valerie was the one who tried to save the professor. We knew that someone had cast healing magic on the body. That was why the wounds had disappeared. The wounds disappeared after the twins discovered the body. That could only mean one thing. The witness was lying, Your Honor, but not about everything. Valerie Yanis did try to save the victim's life by addressing her wounds. But she didn't use first aid. She used magic. I checked the court record, which accidentally spoiled it for me. I'm sorry, Mr. Cuthbert, but your theory is completely flawed. How so, Steelwind? Well, it's quite simple. We've already verified that neither of the sisters is a mage. What? Wait, how can you be so sure? During the investigation, we had both the Iannis sisters attuned to a spell compendium. Standard procedure for the Inquisition when interviewing witnesses. Then that means neither of the Iannis sisters could attune to a compendium. That's right. The Inquisition checked us both. We're not mages. Was I wrong about Valerie being a mage? Well, that could be right. Yeah. Your thought said, how did he figure it out? That meant that I was on the right track. Valerie had to be the mage I was looking for. Celeste, is it possible for a mage to hold a spell compendium and avoid attuning to it? No, it just needs to be on their person. When I was arrested, the Inquisition also made me attune to one of their spell compendiums. They were really careful to make sure that I did the attunement correctly. There's no way a mage could avoid it with them watching you. Is this some twin magic that she pulled off? That Valentina pulled off? Right, Commander White may have been negligent sometimes, but even he wasn't that careless. Now, if you're done, I do believe that you've exhausted all your options. Wait, I'm still not done cross-examining this witness! What could you possibly hope to glean from her testimony? Valentina was stressed out enough to see her thoughts, but I couldn't exactly say that I was planning to read her mind. At this point, I felt that I was already testing the judge's patience. There's one key element for testimony that the court is overlooking. Right as an attorney to complete my cross-examination. Your Honor, the defense is clearly trying to buy time. I might be compelled to agree with you. However, I'll also admit that some elements of the witness's testimony are quite peculiar. I will allow the defense to continue their cross-examination. That was close. But no, this is your last chance, Mr. Cuthbert. Produce nothing substantial with your questioning. I will pass my verdict. Of course, Your Honor. All right, it's all or nothing. I couldn't find anything by reading her mind. This whole case was finished. Witness, please give your testimony once more. Okay. Whoa, okay, here we go. Like I said, my sister and I saw Miss Bellwether bleeding on the ground. We rushed over to her. Now that you mention it, I don't know if I saw any wounds on her. I definitely saw blood. She can play dumb. My sister tried to save her, but she didn't use any magic. We're not mages. Both of us held that book the knights gave us. The commander was watching us the whole time. He can confirm it. Yep, twin magic. What are we going to do? We have pretty hard proof that Valerie isn't a mage. Valerie is the mage we're looking for, I'm sure of it. I'm just not sure why they felt the need to lie to the Inquisition. More importantly, how did they trick the Inquisition? Need to think through this. This wasn't like a normal cross-examination. Nearly all of her thoughts were suspicious and contrary to her testimony. What I need to do is find the thought that gave me a thread to pull on. Okay, interpret it without the need for evidence. Alright. Let's just press it just to be curious. Hold it. I missed the details of her previous testimony. Nothing suspicious there, but I have no reason to doubt this. Sounds like you're just backtracking on her previous testimony. I'm not! I just assumed she was wounded because of all the blood. How was I supposed to know that she didn't have any wounds? That was so much blood! Thoughts implied that she was lying, but her logic was sound. She was the thoughts that appeared during her other statements. If Valerie wasn't the one who closed her wounds, how did she try to help her? I don't know. She might have been looking for an open wound to apply first aid to. We assume that you're telling the truth. There wouldn't be any wounds to find. My client would have already closed them to confound the investigation. I'm telling you, I don't know. She's pleading ignorance of what happened. It does sound like... Yeah, it does sound like Valerie... The sisters are genuinely innocent. We have another suspect who knows necrotic blight. What nations? So that what the knights give us. They almost found them out. Did I assume this book was an unattuned spell compendium? Yes. The Inquisition has several of them. It's standard procedure to have witnesses attuned to them. How do you unattune them after someone does that? Doesn't the kingdom require that mages register? Why don't you just cross-reference those records with the witnesses' names? For whatever reason, many mages among the common folk avoid registering with the kingdom. As a result, many of them choose to hide their abilities. Yeah. It's a good thing they're twins? Did you pull some kind of trick to deceive the Inquisition while attuning, Miss Yanis? Of course not! We know that lying to the Inquisition would get us in trouble. Why would either of us take a risk like that? Living as an unregistered mage is a serious crime. If Valerie was a maid, then you would have been charged with fraud right then and there. Yeah, but we already proved that we're not mages. The eye seems to differ, but I need something else to convince the court.
Objection!
Alright, how do we... Miss Yanis, your thoughts betray you. What? I found the thought. He must have done something to trick Orm, but what? It must have happened when he was interrogating them. Orm collected their statements. How are they holding up? I imagine they'd be rattled after discovering a body. What he said, they were extremely tense, but I suppose that's to be expected. It's why they couldn't sit still. I found it difficult to take their statements because of that. Oh. They couldn't sit still. That implied they were moving somehow. I just thought it was a good thing that they were twins. This means that their so-called trick wouldn't have worked otherwise. Of course, they switched places. Valentina attuned to the first spell compendium. And she pretended to be Valerie to attune to the second one. They even wear the same uniform. No wonder Commander White couldn't tell the difference between them. Miss Yanis, there's something I want to confirm. During the investigation, both you and Valerie attuned to a spell compendium. Yeah? The knight watched us do it. And how did he have you do this? Did you both attune to those compendiums at the same time? Did you attune one after the other? What? Oh, smart. I fail to see how that makes any difference, Mr. Cuthbert. Yes, I agree. The spell compendiums would work regardless of what order they went in. You may not be aware of this, Your Honor, but Valentina and Valerie Yanis are identical twins, which means that their physical appearances are nearly identical to each other. They also work in the same kitchen, which means they must have been wearing the same uniform just during questioning. If Commander White didn't have them attuned at the same time, what would stop the twins from switching places with each other?
Objection!
This is clearly nothing but baseless conjecture. Or wouldn't fail at such a basic... Really, Prosecutor Steelwind? Did you find it hard to believe that Commander White would fail at a task like... Oof. They don't like that man. Even so, the gift of magic is inherited through bloodlines. For a pair of genetically identical twins, it would be impossible for one twin to be a mage while the other is not. Has that been proven, Steelwind? Because as far as I'm concerned, that is baseless conjecture. Oh, wait a minute, this is crazy! We didn't trick the Inquisition! I keep telling you, my sister and I aren't mages! Then prove it, Miss Yanis. Bring in your sister, and we'll have you attuned to 2 spell compendiums at the same time. No! Why didn't... Why... Bang. I mean, if... This is fairly progressing. But I also find myself wondering, like, if we hit the end of our rope with Valentina, couldn't we have just summoned Valerie? Even though the quirks that we found in Valentina's testimony were kind of brushed off, and we have the whole spell compendium thing, let's ask Valerie what she found and what she did. Although the alternative outcome of that is that Valerie might not have betrayed her thoughts as easily as Valentina did, which is a fair prospect for Tyrion to read. Order the court. We won't get anywhere unless we did test the defense's theory. Bailiff, escort Valerie Yanis to the stand and bring 2 unattuned spell compendiums. Looks like we're making spell compendiums now. They both had their hands on those compendiums for the last 10 minutes. No way they can fake it in front of this many people. Alright, it's a moment of truth. I only hope that my theory was correct. No, did he seriously? What is it, Prosecutor Steelwind? Still very Francisca coded, but I do love that. Pose. What I see is the commander seeking new employment in the near future. Here's the defense was correct. Valentina Iannis isn't a mage, but Valerie Iannis is. What's more, Valerie Iannis' compendium contains the Men Wounds spell, which makes the defense's theory entirely plausible. Please, just allow me to explain. We should allow you to explain what exactly? You're an unregistered mage, and you and your sister have made a mess of the investigation and this trial. How would you know what it's like, Lady Steelwind? What? Do you think we don't know who you are? You're not like us. You don't have to hide. It's okay. This whole situation has gotten out of hand. Didn't think hiding it would cause so much trouble. Won't let someone go to prison because of me. Even if he is a necromancer. Oh? Please let me testify about what I saw. I'll tell all of you what really happened that day. Your Honor, I believe we may all benefit from hearing Miss Iannis' testimony. Very well, but understand that there will be repercussions for your actions, witness. I know. Well, I did nothing wrong. My sister and I were walking in the hallway from the kitchen to the west exit. That's when I suddenly spotted the professor lying in a pool of blood in a nearby classroom. Valentina used a communication device to call for help while I tried to save her. I saw that she was bleeding, so I cast Men Wounds on her to close her wounds. But it was too late. I closed the hole in her chest, but she was already dead. There was a hole in her chest? Your Honor, as you can clearly see from the witness's testimony, the trace of necromancy was left by the witness, not my client. What's more, it's clear that there was a physical wound on the body. We're going to get a second investigation day, because... of these. Wonder if what Jan saw was a construct. It's more, it's clear there was... No, but Jan actually said he saw Bellwether. But he also could have just been making a mistake in that he just heard Bellwether say, "Be quiet," and he just was completely not even paying attention. And it was just a construct who spoke in Bellwether's voice, because they all do. What's more, it's clear that there was a physical wound on the body. I see. Well, his words trailed off. He clearly didn't want to pass a verdict with no clear culprit, but he had no choice. Case against Wallace was predicated on Bellwether being killed by necrotic blight. With Valerie's testimony, the prosecution didn't have a shred of evidence implicating him. Very well. This court sees no reason to prolong this trial. Is Aria going to object? With these new developments, the court has no choice but to find Wallace Nightgrave.
Objection!
Yep. I believe the court is ignoring one key detail of the witness's testimony. Would that be Miss Steelwind? Let's re-examine the witness's testimony. Alright. Well, I used a communication device to call for help while I tried to save her. Well, she was bleeding, so I cast Men Wounds on her to close her wounds. It was too late. Closed the hole in her chest, but she was already dead. Looks time of day during each use. Please use this device at 3:04 p.m. Oh. She would have been dead for an hour? Hit a 2. This was an hour after the time of death. Where are you going with this? Cuthbert, there was a witness who saw the victim before the body was found, Jan Hughes. He, along with another witness, spotted Bellwether walking in the hallways before the body was found. Okay. Was cleaning the halls. Bellwether knocked over her vase. There were shards and dirt everywhere. Wait, you saw the professor before the twins arrived? Yeah. Like I said, she broke the vase in this hallway. Probably 20-30 minutes before the twins found the body. 20-30 minutes before the body was found. You see the discrepancy, Mr. Cuthbert? Wait, that couldn't be right. Martha died more than an hour before the body was found. So how did Jan see her a half an hour after her death? Wonder, Mr. Cuthbert, how could one make a dead body move and walk around? No! Don't just arrest the defendant based on those traces of necromancy. You arrested him because only one person in that school could have animated her corpse. Undead? Created within the Imperial Academy? Reprehensible!
Objection!
Wow, she was saving that one in her pocket. It's ridiculous. She had a hole in her chest when the twins found her. Jan Hughes would have noticed that. Animated corpse stops the flow of blood. She wouldn't have tracked blood anywhere. Except for, like, the front of her fucking... all of her clothes that she would have been lying in? Defendant is also proficient with illusion magic. Could have easily used an illusion spell to hide the undead in Bellwether's wounds. Another party could have easily used illusion magic to disguise themselves as the victim. If that were true, how did they move the body to the classroom? Still, if your theory is true, it would mean that the murder occurred elsewhere. The Inquisition happened to know where? Regrettably, we do not. And the prosecution's case against my client is still faulty. You can't convict my client without more evidence. I must agree with Mr. Cuthbert. With these two developments, the court sees it fit to suspend the trial for the time being. We'll give the Inquisition time to investigate these unknowns. Court proceedings for this case will resume tomorrow morning. Court is adjourned. Pretty good day. Hey, are you feeling okay? The body was seen moving around an hour after death. It clearly wasn't Bellwether. At the very least, she wasn't alive when Jan ran into her. So what was it? Tyrion? Stephen was right about one thing. There was illusion magic involved. Which spell was it? Could it have been illusory disguise? Tyrion! I've been pacing around the lobby since the trial ended. Sorry. Just thinking about Stewin's theory. It's a little creepy when you think about it. Do you really think someone turned the professor into an undead? I don't think so. The prosecution's case is hinged on one key point. Wallace was the only high-level necromancer nearby. We have to assume that he's the only person capable of using that type of magic. Then how was she walking around? I don't know. Doesn't make any sense. It's given that Wallace didn't animate the body. No matter what they did, someone had to have used an illusion. Aren't there some spells that can create freestanding illusions, not just disguises? Honestly don't know, but she knocked over, illusions. External illusions can't affect the physical world. She very much did knock down a vase. I need to talk to someone who knows about that type of magic. Didn't Erys say that she was studying illusion magic? She might be able to give us a lead. Is that really a good idea? What do you mean? What if she's the one who created the illusion? What? I was detecting fear from her again. Celeste, are you afraid of Erys? What? No! I saw it this morning, too. You always get really anxious whenever she's around. Oh. Didn't mean to be so obvious about it. What's wrong? Sorry, it's not based on anything real, but... how do I explain this? You already know that I was working out as a mercenary before this. When you do that kind of work, you build up an instinct to sense danger. You kind of have to if you want to stay alive. Sorry, I never knew. Tyrion, I fought little monsters and barely escaped with my life. When I'm near Erys, none of those creatures come even close. This feeling, like I'm in front of a predator that I couldn't even hope to beat. Every instinct I have tells me to run whenever she's close by. Erys, are you the magical final boss? I mean, we did encounter you in our dreams. Really? But she doesn't seem that dangerous, just a little mischievous. I know. I think maybe I'm just anxious or something. I should know better than anyone not to judge people by how they look. Sorry, I forget I said anything. If you think we should talk to her, then we should do that. Celeste's instincts had never steered me wrong before. She had always been reliable, and if Erys was making her feel this way, that must have been something. It's all the more reason for us to talk to her. Aside from that, there's also something else that the prosecutor said. Jan. Along with another witness? Spotted Bellwater walking through the halls where the body was found? There was another witness who saw Bellweather walking around. Right. Jan probably isn't the most reliable witness. He was probably only half awake when he saw her. But do you think Steven would tell us who that witness was? We still have that deal with her. We won't lose anything by asking. Honestly, that's still bothering me. What is? Why was she so interested in who my biological parents are? That was strange. She's traded information about the investigation for it, too. Maybe she thinks you're her long-lost sister. That would be a wild twist. Oh, I never even thought of that. I don't know. Won't that mean I'm the daughter of Lucio Steelwind? I think my dad would have thrown a fit if he ever heard that. You are pretty good at fighting. Ugh. It actually makes a lot of sense. I guess I like Aria. I've always wished I had a sister. Alright, Aria, you're my sister now. I'm just accepting this as headcanon. I don't want to think about this now. Maybe you can ask her when you're at that brunch you strong-armed her into. Oh wait, almost forgot. I can't believe I'm gonna meet Altheris Duskweaver. Anyways, we still had a long investigation ahead of us. We need to start by talking to Steelwind about that witness. Sure, let's do it. Val, you're back! Where's the produce for tonight's dinner? Grocers all said someone already collected the deliveries. Do you think someone stole them? Bet word about the trial has gotten out already. Definitely not going to sell to us anymore. Ugh, that attorney just had to go and ruin everything. I don't know. I was watching the trial. Do you really think that boy killed Catherine? Of course he did. He's a necromancer, for crying out loud. What they said was true. I'm one, too. No, that's not the same thing. You only use healing magic. Come on, help me prep some of the leftover meat. Maybe we can still make some soup out of it. I hate this. Yeah, I know. Students are totally going to complain about it. No. I hate magic. Sure, whatever, Val. What? Oh. Hello? Tyrion, what are we doing here? I'm not sure. For some reason I felt drawn to this place. I was supposed to make my way back to the academy, but I suddenly found myself here. It was strange. I couldn't even remember how we'd arrived here. Wait, is that Erys? Oh no. Celeste pointed further into the cemetery. Erys was standing there in front of a gravestone. She was placing flowers on it and appeared to be chanting a short prayer. Well, we found her. We should probably talk to her later. It'd be rude to disturb her now. Whoa! As we were about to leave, Erys suddenly turned to face us. She was far away, but she'd clearly noticed us and was beckoning us over. Okay. Hi. Oh, hello there. Were you two looking for me? Sorry, we were looking for you, but we understand if you'd rather talk later. No. I'm just finishing up here. Did you have something you wanted to talk to me about? Well, we wanted to ask you some questions about the case. Oh boy.
Repario Arcanum.
Grave for an individual that I didn't know. Out of respect, it'd be best to leave it undisturbed. Grave that Erys was attending to earlier. The name of the stone said Emily Grant, and her lifetime appears to be awfully short. She had only been 12 years old when she died. Huh. Seriously? You're showing me the badge now? The badge? It's an attorney's fruit. We're really threading the line, aren't we? Absolutely. I just think it's neat. That was my first time watching a court trial. You were truly remarkable. Thank you. Were you in the gallery? I've always enjoyed watching physical battles in the theater. I see now that battles of wits can be just as entertaining to watch. Entertaining? Yeah, I know what you mean. You see, the odds are stacked against him, but then he suddenly pulls out this crazy deduction that takes the whole trial back. I've never really thought of it like that. I'm sure it's far more entertaining to be the one making the deductions. I'm not really sure what you mean. I practice law so that I can help those persecuted by the justice system. I don't really do it to entertain myself. But is that really true? Don't you find the experience even the least bit entertaining, Tyrion? I wouldn't really put it that way. You're far too modest. You save people from the clutches of death. Your clients, you might as well be a knight in shining armor. Anyways, goodbye. Earlier you said that you were studying illusion magic. I am. Did you want to ask me about the prosecution's theory? Yes, actually. How'd you know? Disguising an undead with an illusion is definitely possible. As Lady Steelwind said, illusory disguise would be the best spell to use for that. What if someone created a freestanding illusion? I know that Wallace didn't animate and disguise the professor's corpse. So what if the illusion wasn't disguising anything? Maybe someone created a freestanding illusion of Bellwether walking around. Or something like that. One would probably use major illusion. Ooh. 10-foot cube. Okay, this is a thing, but what is it? I don't think major illusion is what we're looking for. Remember what Jan said? I was cleaning a mess in the hallways, but with a knocked over a vase, and there were shards and dirt everywhere. That's Bellwether that Jan saw was a major illusion, that she couldn't have knocked over that vase. Illusions created by that spell don't have any mass. I see. How perceptive of you. Are there any other illusion spells that have mass? No. All known illusion spells in Wyvern God can only recreate visual and auditory sensations. None of those spells can create something that someone can touch. That means someone disguised something to make it look like Bellwether. Why the look of suspicion, Celeste? Sorry, I wasn't. Calm yourself, I was only joking. I don't blame you for considering every possibility. In fact, I'm flattered you think I'm capable of pulling off such an elaborate ruse. Anyways, this does tell us all one important thing. What's that? The Bellwether that Jan saw had a physical mass to it. It wasn't a freestanding illusion, it was someone disguised as her. That's quite a shame, isn't it? Erys looked pensively toward the gravestone. The name of the stone said Emily Grant. Her lifetime appeared to have been awfully short. 12 years old. Sorry for interrupting you. Was she someone you knew? I'm actually here on Wallace's behalf. Wallace knew her? Wallace joined the Academy as a part of a program run by Headmaster Redmond. At the time, the headmaster was reaching out to mages among the common folk. He started a program to admit them to the Academy through a scholarship program. Both Emily and Wallace were amongst those mages. Wow, that must have been an amazing opportunity for them. The truth is, neither of them actually cared about learning magic. The real problem was that Emily had a deadly illness. She and Wallace were poor orphans, and they obviously didn't have the resources to treat it. If they enrolled in the Academy, the Academy would be obligated to give her medical treatment. The Imperial Academy teaches the best mages in this kingdom. And that's why Wallace wants to become a doctor, too. That's why Wallace wanted to become a doctor, because of Emily. They thought that curing her illness would be an easy task for the Academy's healers. They were mistaken, I'm afraid. I'm sure you know this by now, but healing spells can only treat wounds. They can't cure illnesses. Emily's condition only got worse over the years, and eventually she succumbed to her illness. Wallace was furious. He didn't understand why the kingdom was outlawing magic that could save lives. And that's why he decided to learn it himself. Yes, the headmaster was inspired by Wallace's resolve. gave him access to the Academy's forbidden tomes of necromancy. With the headmaster's guidance, Wallace learned the spells that he knows today. So that's why it was supposed to stay a secret between him and the headmaster. But I'm sure you know how that turned. Oh, I gotta look at that one again, because she rewrote that one. I'm sure you know how that turned out. She either rewrote, she might not have rewrote that one. She might have just been rewrote that one to hide her true emotions. I can't tell you everything you need to get through this case. What'll be the fun in that? Okay. Oh, gosh. One sec. I'm not gonna lie, I love her. She's... she's wonderfully mysterious. Oh, she's blatantly haunting the meta-narrative here. It's just... delightful character so far. Just traces of some terrifying shit going on here. Alright. Foyer? Hi, Celeste. I don't really need to go anywhere. Oh, it's you, Mr. Cuthbert. Steelwind, what are you doing here? Once again came across Steelwind. Like yesterday, she was the only one in the room. She was seriously carrying out the investigation alone here? Searching the classroom was one thing, but searching this entire library seemed a little ridiculous. After what happened at the trial yesterday, I decided it would be best to start my investigation here. Wallace was in the library for the entire morning. If she was insistent that he did it, this would probably be the best place. Actually, since I have you here, have you seen Erys Ilmater anywhere? It's my understanding that you're both acquainted with each other. Erys? What are you doing with her? Not for anything serious, mind you. Just that oath for commander lost her spell compendium. Ooh. Now we need her to produce another one for our records. She did give us a spell compendium to give to Wallace. If you see her, please let her know that we would like to speak to her. We saw her earlier in the cemetery nearby. I have no idea where she is now. Ugh. Once again, I have to compensate for that idiot's mistakes. Anyway, I was wondering if I could ask you some questions about the case. Very well. Suppose I still need to honor our deal from earlier. Look at this badge. Ah. The evaluation. Noble storing evidence? They're storing files they don't want to reveal to the world. Recreational purposes? You know, I never got to finish that book. That's for here. No, absolutely not. Come on! Back me up, Aria. Afraid I must agree with Mr. Cuthbert. Trying to get very immersed in those books. Oh, that's rich coming from you. Bet you're sneaking peeks at it too. Nonsense. I would never do such a thing. I already have my own copy. What? And you're not sharing it? You're very demanding sometimes. Tell me about it. Come on, please! You can even recommend some of your favorite books to me. Oh. Busted! Guess we all have different tastes.
Repario Arcanum.
It was students to sit up while you study? I don't think I could handle studying here day after day. Alright. Any leads? Have you had any luck finding the scene of the crime? Unfortunately, I haven't. What is his testimony, so you have a rough idea of the route Bellwether took? None of the rooms we checked have any signs of a struggle. Why are you so sure that a struggle happened? I'm mainly basing that off of the Iannis' sister's testimonies. Valerie, in particular, noticed that the bleeding came from a wound on her chest. Gradually, the body's wounds were mended. So we can't determine what kind of weapon the murderer used. Fair. During the trial, you mentioned that another witness saw Bellwether walking around yesterday. Who is this person, and why haven't they been called to testify? I'm sorry, but I can't tell you that. A noble. Steelwind's posture tightened. Something was making her uneasy. Been pretty transparent with the investigation so far. I have no obligation to justify myself to you, nor do I have an obligation to help the opposition. Didn't we have a deal? Hiding information doesn't exactly seem fair to us. If I've given you plenty of information already. So regardless of what I said before, the answer is still no. Her family is dangerous. The Eye of Horus caught a stray thought from her. Her family is dangerous. What'd she mean by that? There's something about this witness's family that you're worried about? Nope. No, this could be a feint. I'm sorry, but you'll have to try harder than that if you want to bluff me. Why don't you go to such lengths to hide one witness's identity? She's perfectly fine with revealing elements of the investigation yesterday. We need to try looking somewhere else. We have her psychological profile. Alright, let's get out of here then. Locker room. Hello, Wallace. We don't have anything new to give us. Oomphy haunting the narrative locker room. How did I get here? Some time wandering throughout the academy. Somebody overheard a conversation from a nearby room. And from what I understand, Miss Steelwood has already moved the investigation elsewhere. Although must I wait before I can retrieve my things. Sorry, old-timer. Orders are orders. Nothing comes in or out till the case is over and done with. Under White? And the headmaster, too? Oh, hello, Mr. Cuthbert. Oi, kid. In any case, there are other matters I must attend to. Please inform me when I can reclaim my things. Sure thing. It looked like Commander White was standing guard in front of this locker room. Didn't look like he's conducting any sort of investigation. Was he on Steelwind's orders? Might be able to tell us who this secret witness was. Hey there, buddy. Sorry for getting you reamed out again. What was the headmaster talking to you about? He has some items stored in one of the faculty lockers. Problem is, Steelwind said no one gets in around this room. Except for her and you two, I guess. She won't even let the other knights in there. Really? Is that normal? Nope. Things rarely are when she's calling the shots. I just go with it. Why don't you give me access to the crime scene if she wasn't even letting the knights in? I don't know what her deal is. She's been acting strange lately. Really paranoid, that girl. Right there, I can't tell what's going through her head. Got locked in this room? Alright. Imagine if the prosecutor has been paranoid lately. Do you think it has something to do with this case? Nah, started way before that. Lately, she's been using the Inquisition to investigate a lot of non-magical homicides. What? Wouldn't it be easier to work with a relevant law enforcement for that? I don't know why. She's convinced that these cases have magic involved. Every time we scan one of those crime scenes, nothing turns up. Gotta say, though, one of those scans might actually agree with her. Why do you say that? Those homicides. I've never seen anything like them. Probably some of the most screwed up cases I've ever handled. I've seen some things. One of those cases we had ourselves a disgruntled spouse. Turned out that her man was going around town with the barkeep, if you catch my meaning. Wait, what do you mean? We're making the beast with two backs. What? Tyrion learns sexual innuendo. It was two-timing her. I don't know this lingo, Orm. Oh my god, he was a married man having sex with another woman, Tyrion. Oh, okay. Anyways, you know what the spouse does? She stalks the poor woman. Started leaving threatening notes all around where she worked. barkeep told the city watch about all about what was happening. No matter how much they staked out the tavern, they could never catch her. And one day the barkeep arrived home. Don't you know the spouse was waiting there for her? Well, then he never had a chance. And to tie the whole thing together, the spouse waits for her husband to get home. He cooks him a bit. Oh, okay. Use the barkeep's remains. Someone watched last season of Game of Thrones recently. I say that in jest, but that is genuinely fucked up. Wow, that story is pretty... I know. Demon thinks someone's developed a new type of magic that can control people's minds. And these homicides were some kind of sick test run. Magic that can affect people's minds? Wouldn't Mageblight make more sense? Mageblight. When Mage overuses their magic, it can have pretty bad consequences on their mind. They temporarily lose grip on reality and begin seeing things that aren't there. When a mage becomes like that, it almost never ends well. They basically become psychotic. They enter a frenzy and begin firing spells randomly, which only makes it worse. I've seen my fair share of Mageblight cases, and this wasn't like that. And all the perps were mages, and the ones that were didn't even use their spells. One thing was that each of the perps almost seemed to wake up after we arrested them. All of them said things like it wasn't me, or I didn't have a choice. They didn't have a choice? What could that mean? Uh-oh. Could very well be mind control. This also reminds me suspiciously of the series of the top secret crimes jail in Ghost Trick, Phantom Detective, where they all committed really specifically obscure crimes out of the blue with like no impossible explanations. Impossible motives and the like. And linking to them is the manipulator, possessing them. You have a choice, what could that mean? I doubt it means anything. Sometimes people can't face the things they've done. It's easier to say that you had no control than to take responsibility. It's a fascinating digression that she's on. Is that related at all to Aria asking about Celeste's parents? I wonder if I could mislead the commander into revealing who the secret witness is. During the trial, Steve had mentioned that someone other than Jan Hughes saw Bellwether walking around. Have you seen them around lately? We wanted to speak with them. Uh-oh. Ah, nice try, kid. That was worth a shot. Honestly, I couldn't tell you if I wanted to. I don't think anyone other than Steelwind knows who this witness is. I sure as hell don't. What? She was even hiding it from the Inquisition commander? Why was she being so secretive? It seemed like the commander didn't know who the secret witness was either. Oh, this isn't getting us anywhere. It's possible that the whole reason that Aria is reaching out and trying to, like, made that deal to share information with us is because we know Tyrion isn't a mage, and Celeste is a newbie mage. Who isn't exactly ambitious nobility type. Steven's behavior is strange, though. Perhaps I could try analyzing her behavior. If I did that, I might be able to figure out why she's acting so strangely. Take a moment to work through this. Steven's behavior has been strange this time around. It's hiding elements of the case, even from the commander. Anyone can tell that she doesn't have much faith in him. Oh, I'm standing right here. This is the first time I've seen her hide key details of a case from him. Must be a reason why she's being so secretive. Yeah. Perhaps it must be driven by paranoia. She's been hoarding information about the case after all, and doing all of it herself. There's only one reason why she wouldn't utilize the Inquisition like she usually does. Because she doesn't trust them. I have to say it, that doesn't really surprise me. She's always been standoffish with us. There is one exception. There are individuals who she has trusted more than the Inquisition during this case. Us. She's let us investigate the crime scenes without any restrictions. Yeah, I didn't notice that until now. Did she really trust us that much? I don't think personal trust is the reason. We don't usually interact with her, and she's worked with the Inquisition on plenty of cases that we weren't even involved in. I'm not capable of the immobility. difference between us and the Inquisition. Didn't answer to anyone who weren't subject to corruption from the nobility.
What if? Maybe.
Alright, thinking time. Alright, Steelwind trust us. Tyrion Wallace Steelwind. Headmaster. Is anyone we weren't subject to corruption for the nobility?
What if?
Oh, okay. An interesting phrasing, but that works. Steven doesn't know much about us, but she does know that we aren't prone to noble corruption. Right, you did just indict a noble last week. Oh, meanwhile, the Inquisition usually bends to the nobility's whims. Can't argue with you there. Nobility. Using my intuition, I could tell she's worried about the witness's family. If she's worried about corruption for the nobility, that can only mean one thing.
Maybe.
Witness is a noble. Witness has to belong to a noble family. Why is she so wary of interference? But we're obviously not going to do anything corrupt. Why is she hiding the witness's identity from us? And with that thought I saw through the eye. Family is dangerous. She's worried about our safety. Yeah, I guess harassing a noble could put you in danger. And the protege of the infamous Ruby Tamora. Yeah, it's not as if we aren't already on the nobility's bad side. I'm sure House Pierce still has it out for us. They're definitely the ones sending those rogues into your house. What? Don't worry about it. I've got it under control. Thank you at least for the sympathetic, shocked reaction, Orm. This can only mean that the family we're dealing with is even more powerful than House Pierce. Thank you for at least recognizing that that's fucked up for him, Orm. If the prosecution is wary of them, they must be as powerful as the Steelwinds. Wait. Well, don't tell me you think we're dealing with one of the four pillars. I have to ask about that. I always hear you and Ruby say it a lot, but who are the four pillars? It's the name people use for the four most powerful noble houses. They're led by the dukes and duchesses. House Freyga, House von Sanctus, House Sybil, and of course, House Steelwind. The four of them stand at the top of Wybengard's hierarchy. So Steelwind is one of them. Interesting. What is it? Steelwind's paranoia all started after she investigated this room. At the crime scene, she left to follow a lead. An hour later, she came back to the lecture hall and basically booted everyone out. Her behavior changed after investigating this room? That means she found something here. Something must point to her family from the four pillars. Grander shifted slightly. You know, Steelwind's orders say I can't snoop around here. But you two, on the other hand, don't worry, just leave it to us. Well, I have some school records that say which locker belongs to which student. You should tell whose locker you're looking at. let's fucking go. Oh, there's an arcane construct in the back here. Probably here to aid the students. I don't think it's relevant to our investigation. That's the case, I made a note of it in my runestone. Okay. You could be. I used the legend that the commander gave me. Look carefully across the list to find the names of some notable students. Hey, Wallace. Open the locker with Wallace's ID number. A fragrant liquid and something that looks like a makeup kit. Huh. Why does Wallace have this stuff? Did someone swap his ID again? Theme seems strange, but that wasn't my place to judge. With the other lockers? Miriam Frege. Worn out textbooks and notebooks? Oh, okay, so Wallace and Miriam had their IDs swapped. You know, these notebooks all have Wallace's name on them. Open the notebook and quickly scan through its pages. Appear to be notes of the art of necromancy. These are Wallace's notebooks. Why are they in Miriam Frege's locker? Did she steal his things? What's going on here? I'm taking all the textbooks and notebooks one after the other. Locker was really cramped, but I noticed a stain near the back of it. Quickly took everything out to get a better look at it. What? I think this is dried blood. Whoa. Wait, so let's scan it for traces. No, there aren't any traces on it. Huh. Jaden von Sanctus. Transparent lotion? Nothing but lotion in here, and also a distinct smell. Oh. Wonder why a student would need this much lotion. Gooner. Took one of the bottles to inspect it more closely. Wait, Tyrion, don't touch those with your hands! The label appears to be some kind of sanitizing liquid. A little strange, but doesn't seem to be related to this case. Okay, never mind. Jaden just is very clean. Warren Sybil's ID number. Textbook's a neatly stacked deck of tarot cards. Oh, it's like those cards that fortune tellers use. One of the student likes studies divination magic. Anyway, I still think it's related. Found a few things. Really makes sense of any of it. Just look at this from the prosecutor's perspective. Steven found something in one of his lockers. Whatever that was, it made her extremely paranoid. We found some insanely suspicious things in Frege's locker. Had Wallace's notebooks and even some blood. That blood is certainly strange. Implies that something bloody was stored there. Could only be the murder weapon. Think someone stole it? No, actually. I think it was Steven who took it. Oh, right. Aura mentioned that she investigated this room. She must have taken the murder weapon as evidence. That said, there's something else that's strange about Miriam Frege's locker. And a lot of Wallace's possessions. Wallace literally told us stories about how people just started swapping. It was either Wallace or Erys who told us those stories. But a lot of Wallace's maybe it was the headmaster? The tale was about how Wallace and Erys met. And they met because their lockers got swapped. Also, that she really did steal these items from him, but it's also more likely that this locker isn't actually hers. That's also more concerning if this locker is actually Wallace's. Remember what Wallace told us before? Yes, there we go. Sometimes the other students would steal the ID number off my locker and switch it with another student's. I thought it was funny whenever the student got angry with me. So someone switched the nameplates? This means that this isn't Miriam Frege's locker, it's Wallace's. That would mean the bloody object came from Wallace's locker! It appears so. If that's true, why didn't Steelwind present the bloody item during the trial? I proved that Bellwether was wounded before Valerie healed her. Wouldn't that have been the perfect time to present what she found? This bloody item found in the defendant's locker after all. Right, that is weird. So it sounds like... maybe she didn't know the story of how Wallace had his shit switched around. She didn't know the story, so she thought that Miriam Frege was suspicious and has been kind of being paranoid about this. It's hard to say. I don't know enough about I don't know enough about the nobility to suppose. Nothing more to this than I wasn't seeing, but what? We'll just have to ask Steelwind ourselves. Thank you for your time, Orm. Kid, are you gonna show me this thing every time we meet? Proves I'm an attorney. Yeah, I know. Seriously, you're just like Steelwind. She does this too? You should have enough information now. Let's have a talk with the prosecutor. You just tell me what's wrong. Are you mad at me? I'm not mad, okay? Can we just get to work? Quinn's voices rang out from the kitchen. They sounded like they were in an argument. Do you think they're okay? That's private. We shouldn't get involved. I guess you're right. I slowly closed the door to the library and kept my mind on the investigation. Oh, hey. Fine. You want to know what I think? You don't get to say that you hate magic. Look at how many problems it's causing for us. Yeah, it's a dumb job. None of that even matters to you. What? Those people from the church always say that mages are chosen by divine right. And they're right. You don't get to complain about being better than me, Val. I'm not better than you. Yes, you are, and I'm so sick of pretending you're not. You were helping Jan when I was jealous about how easy I thought this job... You were helping Jan while I was jealous of how easy I thought his job was. You outed yourself as a mage trying to save Catherine bloody Bellwether. Tina, that's not... I hate how much I'm holding you back. I know you. I know how hard you've been working in the library. You're destined for great things. Tina, I haven't learned anything. Come on, don't give me that. I've been heading straight for the library after work for years. Yes, and I still haven't learned anything. What? Can't wrap my head around how it all works. I've been trying for years. Don't understand, Aether. Don't understand spell formulas. It's like they're speaking another language. I can do magic, but I'm nothing like the students here. But you know healing magic? It's the most basic spell. Theoden in the theurgy program learned that in their first class. It took me years to even figure that out. Why didn't you ever tell me about this? Because magic is the only thing I have. You're better than me at everything. What? I'm not. I'm always making mistakes and forcing you to clean up after me. We only have this job because you begged the headmaster to hire me with you. You're amazing. The students here are spoiled aristocrats and they love your food. I can't even fry an egg right. You're not the one holding us back. Do you really think my cooking is that good? I don't think I could live without eating your food every day. Remember when I was just learning to cook at the orphanage? We were just a pair of dumb kids, but you were there with me every step of the way. You were there for me. I would never have gotten this good if you weren't always there, if you weren't always with me. Tina, I'm sorry I never told you this sooner. I could never do this without you. Neither could I. Oh! I'm sorry for being so stupid before. Okay, I was also being... We should get started on that soup. Right. Can you help me grab all the leftover meat from the freezer? Oh, they worked it out. Yeah. Oh, you're back. And we'll deal with you next time. Cliffhanger time. We'll work out the source of Steelwind's paranoia next time. Until then.